This is Chuck Fresh with Computer Care Clinic, doing the hard-hitting reporting on computers and tablets that you expect from me. Today we're going to take a look at the iPad Pro and the Surface Pro 4. So our customers are coming in saying, Chuck, what do I get, man? I see this iPad Pro, which looks really, really cool. And then there's this Surface Pro 4, which looks kind of like Microsoft-ish. Of course, Apple always wins with the cool factor. But they only have one input, which leads me to believe this is more of a typical Apple device. So let's take a look at the Surface first. 12.3-inch screen, a little bit about a half-inch smaller than the iPad. About 1.7 pounds. It starts about $900. Configured the way we have it, it was about, I think it was $1,300 or $1,400. But look at this keyboard. It is additional cost, but it acts as a protection device, and it's also got tactile chiclet keyboards and a touchpad. So if you're used to a PC, if you're used to a laptop, and you want a tablet, this little magnetic thing is the best of both worlds. Here's Time Magazine compared to the sizes of these two things. Remember, this is 12.3-inch, and the Apple is a 12.9-inch screen. Not much difference in the sizes between the two devices. And again, not much bigger than a magazine, fits easily into a carry-on bag or a briefcase or whatever you use. So now the thing about the Surface is it's a real computer. It's an Intel i5 dual-core processor running about 2.4 gigahertz, and it's got 8 gigs of RAM. And the beauty of this guy, it's going to run all your software. It's going to be able to, there's a headphone jack on the side of it, taking a look at the ports on the side. It's got that little flip thing in the back, which is really nice. And there's a mirror so you can check your teeth to make sure there's nothing in between your teeth after you eat lunch on your business meeting. Power connector and one USB port, which is really all you need. If you need more, then you really aren't in the market for a tablet. But you do have the option to put a USB hub in there if you do need more than one USB device. You want to hook a mouse and an external hard drive up. And the problem with a lot of these tablets, especially the iPad, there's no external storage. If you need to store a lot of video files, a lot of photos, some CAD drawings, or whatever you're working on, that you should do CAD on this thing, but there's no options for outside storage. Now, to look at the iPad Pro, it's got an impressive screen. It's huge. It's got also the magnetic keyboard with tactile keys this time. Not as tactile as the Surface, but still, nonetheless, you still feel like you're typing, and you do get the springy response of the keyboard. No touchpad for the mouse thing because, well, it's kind of redundant because it is a touchscreen device. In the iPad, it's so easy to use. Very, very easy to navigate, just like the iPhone. But it's that which makes it more of a toy. Here's a close-up of the Apple iPad Pro keyboard. It is actually a pretty impressive keyboard. It's got this big foldy thing, which is kind of confusing, which also angles up the iPad, which makes it look like a laptop. The standard iPod iOS interface, if you want to do some word processing, it's possible, absolutely possible. And Pages actually is a pretty fully featured word processing program. You can export things as Word documents too, I believe. Here again, comparing the sizes of the two with their keyboard cases on. They don't come with these keyboard cases. It is extra. I think it's about $150 to $170 extra. Don't quote me on the prices. Look at the website yourself and find out. And I think there's some options too, and also some third-party companies who make those things too. But if you stick with the original manufacturer, it's guaranteed to work, and it'll work real well. High quality stuff. So again, using Pages, if you need to do some kind of work on the iPad, you can, but it's minimal and you're kind of limited. Now, this Pages does have a spell check. It's very simple to use. A lot of people tell me it's easy to do word processing and desktop publishing. You can bring stuff in there. But the problem is, this is the storage. Your capacity on this device is 32 gigabytes. I think there is one that has a little bit more, but you're not going to be able to cap out at the amount of storage that you can get in a Surface or a real laptop or an Ultrabook for that matter. So if you need to store stuff, if you need to back stuff up locally and you can't be dependent on the cloud because your internet connection is flaky or you might not have one, like us, we're taking a cruise. And fortunately, it does have a headphone jack in the iPad Pro, which was impressive. And they're taking that out of the iPhone. I wouldn't be surprised if it disappears. Two of them sitting next together. The point is, the iPad screen is a little bit bigger. It's a different perspective. But brightness and clarity, you really can't tell the difference. They're both very, very clean, very sharp. The colors are beautiful on both of these devices. The problem is that the iPad is more of a I call it a toy. It's for people who watch movies and want to check their Facebook or just want to check email. If you want to do any type of real work, you want to do accounting, desktop publishing, you want to do Excel spreadsheets, you're going to need to do something like the Surface. And if you need to store anything, this thing has 256 gigabytes of solid state storage on the Surface Pro. And again, to look at the iPad, your only choice for expansion is to use iCloud. And they give you a couple of gigs for free with an iCloud account, but if you want anything substantial, you have to pay a subscription fee. And then you need an internet connection no matter where you are. And again, sometimes for some people, that's not an option. Either the internet connection is flaky, not available, or you're somewhere where you can't get it, or you got to pay for it. What's nice about the Surface is that everything's local, like a computer. And if you're a little sketchy about sharing your information on the internet, on the cloud, not knowing where it's going, where the government's going to look into things, then the Surface is definitely the way to go. So bottom line, if you're a consumer, if you need a toy, something to entertain you, the iPad's great. Otherwise, you're probably going to have to go with the Surface. My name's Chuck Fresh for Computer Care Clinic.